They're called emergencies because we don't expect them. You know, they might be annoying, like...
A Decatur homeowner is dealing with some unwanted tenants.
Yeah, a very large colony of bees was removed from her home, something she's dealt with twice before.
Or all kinds of worst-case scenarios.
I want to show you what's left of this fridge. It's just the shell and thousands of dollars worth of damage after what the family says is the refrigerator exploding.
You just can't plan for every single thing that might happen.
A space rock plummeted to Earth and punctured the trunk while the car was parked in Peekskill, Westchester County.
But we can all do our best to make sure that when that never gonna happen to me thing does happen, we are as financially solid as we can be. And that's where an emergency fund comes in. Today, I'm going to tell you everything you want to know about building your own emergency fund with the who, what, when, where, why, and how of starting one.
Who?
147 million Americans cannot afford a $1,000 emergency. So the answer to who needs one of these is kinda everybody. By the way, this is not just advice from on high. I did this too. When I got real about my money in my 20s, one of the first things I did was build my emergency fund. It felt great, and it got me going in the right direction. Like, I'll never forget what it felt like to be driving my car down Lakeshore Drive in Chicago, where I was working, knowing that if I had a flat tire or some sort of emergency, it would be okay. And knowing that if that did happen, I could handle it was pretty awesome.
What?
An emergency fund is a special kind of savings that you set aside for emergencies, and emergencies only.
Where?
There are right places to keep your emergency fund and wrong places. The simple answer is put it in its own savings account, one that is not mixed with other money. You should not keep your emergency money inside your checking account, even if you swear to earmark it. No, that just makes it too easy to spend, even by accident. Also, do not put it in an investment account or something like crypto. And no, your credit card is not an emergency fund. Put that emergency money in its very own savings account. The extra credit version is to poke around online and find a high-interest savings account and build your emergency fund there. That's what I did with mine. The key thing with your emergency fund is that it exists in a secure place different from your checking account.
When?
When should you start building one? Now.
Why?
In a word, security. Research shows that emergency savings are a foundational step in the journey to long-term financial security. They are like the gateway drug of savings. Once you get that habit started, you're most of the way to keeping it going. And once you show yourself that you can save $1,000 and still live your life, there's nothing stopping you from setting bigger, longer-term goals for yourself and reaching them. Got it? Good. Onward.
How much?
How much do you need? Well, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It depends on your situation. Now, if you've got kids, you'll likely need to stash away a little bit more cash. If you've got a partner with a regular, reliable job, or well-off parents who could lend a hand when things are tough, you might not need as much. But let's call the minimum for an emergency fund $1,000 American dollars. $1,000 is enough to take the sting out of, let's say, you need to fix up your car after a fender bender. So $1,000 is the minimum. The ideal is enough for 6 months of your expenses. 6 months could be a stretch goal for most folks. Like, I got to my $1,000 and I got to a month, but it took me 3 years to get up to 6 months of savings. So once you get that $1,000 saved, just go on to 1 month and then your 3 months and then just keep on going. Set a regular savings goal that will help you achieve the bigger goal. NerdWallet has a helpful tool to help you calculate your monthly expenses, or you can do it on your own. There's a link in the description if you want some help. And then just don't make these 2 mistakes, which are so easy to do. Don't underfund it. There is a real temptation for a lot of people, once they've socked some money in their emergency fund, to let that stream of savings flow elsewhere. You know, maybe into a shiny investment account or sneakers they are sure will grow in value. All I can say is don't. You did the work to start an emergency fund. Now finish it and get to your goal. I promise you will never regret having a well-funded rainy day account. And don't dip in. We are all human. We sometimes want things we can't afford, and the impulse to use your emergency savings like a no-interest loan is sometimes very strong. I wish I could tell you I feel bad about wagging my finger again, but the truth is I feel pretty great about saying don't do it. I really hope nothing bad ever happens to your car or your house or your anything. But if it does, I really, really, really want you to know that not having to worry about the financial hit because you've done the work to cover yourself is going to feel great. Now, if you do need to access some of your emergency funds for a situation that's more serious than a big night out, but maybe not a true emergency, treat yourself like a bank and pay it back fully and promptly. And really, don't do it. That's it. That's the basics on building an emergency fund. Now, if you don't have one, get going. This is an investment in your security and peace of mind, and you won't regret it. For more money tips, check out our other videos. Take good care.